Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about a few reasons you may still want to consider buying or building a computer, specifically a gaming PC, even though right now prices for certain components are outrageous. Now, a while back I made a video detailing reasons you really shouldn't be looking to build or buy a gaming PC right now, and I stand by those reasons, but for some people, the price of things, specifically those components, aren't really an object. There are some people out there that really just want to have the best gaming experience possible, and they're willing to pay for it. And for those of you that are in that situation, this video is for you. To be clear here, I think that a gaming PC is the best platform for gaming in general, unless you are just really into certain niches. For example, maybe you super just love sports games, and maybe Madden is your jam, then PC is not for you because Madden games are not available on PC, at least the new releases. But the number one thing that I love about gaming PCs that they have over the consoles is their access to all kinds of different components. And yes, this I'm sure does make it more difficult to develop games and specifically optimize certain games for certain hardware, but the choice is in the consumer's hands and not large corporations like Microsoft or Sony, and it really does give each individual gamer a lot of power for determining what components belong in their rig. For example, if you are just planning on gaming on a 1080p TV, then you don't really need something like a GTX 1080 Ti or even a 1070. You can get by on what used to be middle range hardware, something like a 1060 or an RX 580. RX 570s were a good mid-range card, and even a 1050 Ti is a really good gaming GPU for that 1080p mark. And especially when you consider that TVs aren't really, usually at least, refreshing more than 60 times per second. You only need to hit that 60 FPS mark. You don't need all the extra horsepower to get yourself up to 120 Hertz or better. So again, the choice is back in the consumer's hands here. That being said, there are a lot of enthusiasts like myself or just other people that like to game at higher refresh rates or just larger resolutions. For example, I game at 2560 by 1440, in which case you likely need a little bit more horsepower. And again, that option is fully available to gamers on a PC. But if you're on console, either you need the latest and greatest, the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, and even then you don't get to choose what resolution you're gaming at. Really, it's the console making that decision for you based on the demands of the game, and you are really just hooking up a display to it and just letting the console decide for you. You don't have a lot of input on what settings things are ran at. And that actually brings me on to my next point. My first graphics card I ever owned was a GTX 660, which I still own today, and you know what? It can still game with modern AAA titles with reduced settings, but this was a card that was purchased by me back in 2011. So it has had a long shelf life, and the beauty of running that card for such a long period of time in various iterations, not necessarily always on my main computer, is that I always had the option of just pulling that card out and replacing it with something better or something newer without having to worry about my games being incompatible with what I replaced it with. They just worked on whatever hardware I was throwing into the rig, and the GTX 660, like I said, it can still run games today. You just have to be willing to knock down settings a little bit. For reference, a PS4 actually came out in later 2013, with the Xbox One following, I believe, in early 2014. If I messed those dates up, I'll go ahead and add a little note here. And you'll also notice there's a new iteration of those consoles with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, both following the original Xbox One, and the PS4 Pro is out there, and I think there was even a PS4 Slim. And then, of course, we can talk about platforms of individual games. Now, PC is most well known for Steam, which is made by Valve, but that's not the only game client on the PC. In fact, there are tons of game clients. For example, there's Ubisoft's Uplay, which I think is completely garbage, and I far prefer Steam, but sometimes you have to go that route. Then there's EA's Origin, which again, that's sort of their own homebrew solution for EA games. But then there's other things like GOG, and it doesn't have nearly as big of a library or specifically as modern a library as something like Steam, but GOG is DRM free. So if there's a game available on both, I'm probably going to go the GOG route just so I have DRM free games at my disposal. And then of course we have Blizzard's Battle.net. League of Legends is a standalone game, has its own launcher and everything, so you don't even need, if you're a game developer, to run through a specific client. You can just have a standalone launcher, and that works just as well on PC as well. Oh, and we should probably also mention the Windows Store, so But actually, the Windows Store does have a big plus in the column of that if you buy something that is usually an Xbox One exclusive by Microsoft, something like any of the new Halo games coming out or the Forza games that are already out and available on both platforms. If you buy it through your Xbox Live account and it's available on the PC side as well, you actually get it for the PC as well, so you can still play on the PC or on the Xbox One side of things, and that's a great little perk that you get, again, if you're a PC gamer. And then, of course, we can move on to things like in-game chat. A lot of games have their own sort of client, their own little tricks. For example, in Rocket League, you can hold the right bumper and you can speak into the microphone and everyone can hear you, or you can use other services completely like Skype or Discord or even private audio servers that you can just talk with your friends on. And again, you don't have to use any proprietary services, or at least services that are rather exclusive to one platform or another. You can use whatever it is that works for you, and those third-party solutions do allow you to have a whole lot of flexibility. And the last thing I'm going to actually go into here is live streaming. The PC again gives you the option with OBS, or if you're an XSplit person, then you can live stream your games, and you have way more flexibility on the PC side to tweak your stream exactly as you need it or exactly as you want it before you upload it, whether that's recording it and editing later or whether you're actually live streaming using that software. The PC does give you much more powerful tools and flexibility when it comes to streaming your games or just recording your games. And of course, I could go on about other things and other implementations that the PC is better at than consoles, things like multitasking, specifically if you have multiple monitors going at a time. The PC overall is a more open and just more powerful platform than the consoles can ever be. Now, it is true that the consoles, especially the Xbox One X being the most powerful console out there right now, is better or at least more powerful than some lower-end gaming PCs, and that is definitely undeniably true. The Xbox One X can handle some games at 4K resolution, some even native 4K resolution, or getting there through checkerboarding or other kind of 4K solutions, and there are some gaming PCs out there that just can't do that. But my whole point here is that as a platform, the PC is much more flexible, it's much more open, and it gives a lot more control and puts that into the hands of the user and the consumer instead of just having it dictated to the consumer, which in my mind is a very good thing. And again, I don't want this misconstrued to be like there's no place for consoles. I think a lot of people are looking for just a solution that just works, and if most of their friends are on that platform, then it does make sense to some people, especially right now where PC components, especially RAM and GPUs, are so expensive. But there are definite tangible benefits to gaming on a PC that you just don't get on the console side, and that's especially even if we are willing to throw out the cost, because right now the cost argument actually is in favor of consoles, even though prior to this whole GPU and RAM pricing debacle, in my mind it was still in the favor of the PCs because of the flexibility it allows. But now I'm rambling, so I'm going to cut it off and send it back to you guys. What do you think? What are some of the benefits of gaming PCs? What are some of the costs that you incur by building or buying them? Are there better things about consoles that you wish would make their way to PCs? Or are there things about PCs that you really want to see on consoles? Let me know down below. And of course, if you like this content, give it a like, a share, subscribe, comment. All those things help out a lot. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Hoosier Hardware. And as always, I'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos from my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.